There are wilderness stories that defy explanation, tales where man meets nature and vanishes. Today's story is one of those. The baffling death of Jordan Grider, a man who ventured into the Boundary Waters Canoe area wilderness in northern Minnesota, determined to live off the grid through one brutal winter. When his skeletal remains were found, questions far beyond frostbite or animal attack emerged. Some even wonder, did he cross paths with something more mysterious, something like Sasquatch? This isn't just a story of survival gone wrong. It's a mystery that blurs the line between human endurance, the unforgiving wild, and the possibility of something lurking in the shadows. Jordan M. Grider was 29, from Moriarty, New Mexico. An outdoorsman by nature, he lived unconventionally, spending long stretches in the wild, self-sufficient and off the grid. In early October 2018, he left home, bought supplies, and drove north into the dense frozen forests of Minnesota. He told family in late September that he was preparing for a long winter with beans, grains, and equipment. He sent a photograph on October 8th from a campsite overlooking a beaver pond. That was the last they heard from him. On October 9th, 2018, Jordan's white truck was found parked near the Sioux Hustler Trail. Black bags sat inside, but Jordan himself was nowhere in sight. Months passed. Winter descended. Deep snow blanketed the forest, turning any search into a dangerous task. It wasn't until early April 2019 that the U.S. Forestry Service officers came across what looked like Jordan's campsite, about 1.5 miles from the trailhead. A hammock strung under a green tarp. A sleeping bag, scattered clothing. But the most disturbing detail, a large amount of blood inside both the hammock and the sleeping bag. Wolf tracks and scat marked the area, yet there was no sign of Jordan's body. Search efforts were slowed by the deep snow, but when spring returned, more evidence came to light. On April 25th, 2019, law enforcement returned to the site. This time, they found skeletal remains scattered around the camp. Only a dozen or so bones, vertebrae, a possible femur, maybe an arm bone, torn clothing, including a shredded jacket. But still, no skull. The St. Louis County Sheriff's Office, along with the U.S. Border Patrol, the U.S. Forestry Service, and other agencies, carried out the official investigation. In August 2020, the skeletal remains were positively identified as those of Jordan Grider. The cause of death, however, was never determined. Investigators officially ruled out both suicide and foul play, but neither could be fully proven one way or the other. Alternative hypotheses were raised. Some suggested a fatal cut, perhaps from a blade, a shaving tool, or another sharp instrument leading to severe blood loss. Others speculated about a sudden medical event, followed or accompanied by scavenging from wildlife. Wolves, in particular, were considered a likely culprit. Jordan's mother, Rebecca, remains convinced that wolves attacked him, possibly while he slept. In a heartfelt Facebook post, she described the pain of losing her son and expressed her belief that the evidence pointed to wolves being responsible. She shared her frustration with the lack of answers, writing that no parent should have to wonder how their child truly died. Yet experts noted that a wolf attack consistent with the scene would normally show far greater signs of struggle, shredded tarps, a torn hammock, and more extensive disturbance. Those elements were largely missing. Adding to the mystery, investigators also recovered Jordan's phone at the site. While damaged, it did not provide any clear answers, no final messages, no record of distress, and no clues about what happened in his final hours. The official medical examiner's report, issued by Anoka County, concluded simply that Jordan's death was undetermined. There was not enough evidence to reach a definitive explanation. Several explanations have been proposed for Jordan's death. One is accidental self-injury, perhaps from shaving or handling a knife, causing fatal blood loss. His mother considers this possible, though no bloody tool was ever confirmed. Others suspect animal predation wolves were nearby, but experts note the scene lacked the usual signs of struggle. Exposure or a sudden medical emergency could also explain it, with scavengers disturbing the body afterward. Some reach for folklore, pointing to Sasquatch or Wendigo due to the missing skull and scattered remains. A minority still believe foul play, though authorities found no supporting evidence. Sometimes people ask, could something more than wolves or misfortune have been involved? Bigfoot, Sasquatch, legends whispered through the trees. This isn't presented as proof, but in cases like this, when conventional explanations leave unsettling gaps, the idea of something cryptic lingers. Perhaps it's only human nature to give form to the unknown. Perhaps Jordan's fate was a tragic accident of wilderness survival. Or perhaps, just maybe, there was something more, something unseen, watching from the silence of the woods. If you liked this story, hit like, subscribe, share. And if you've got theories, logical or supernatural, let me know in the comments. Because sometimes clues are found in the cracks between fact and folklore.